We're going to go to the diving. As you can see, there's Pam Neustadter right there getting ready behind the board. She's going to be doing an inward dive when the judges are in place and the crowd settles down. Pam, coming into these finals, is currently in 5th place. Now we're having an announcement about the flash photography here in the venue. Pam now is doing an inward dive pike in the pike position. Pam has been the leader after the 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 7th round. She nailed a 103 forward 1.5 earlier yesterday for 7s. That made her one of our leaders. That's a great solid start for Pam here. That's going to get about 6.5. She could have taken it a little deeper on the finish. Scores from the judges are 7, 7.5, and a 6.5.
She ended up with 32.25 points for that award, for that dive.
Our next diver is Tina Hintz from Tinley Park. She'll be doing a back dive in a straight position. Tina's in 10th place currently. She left that dive a little short there. As you can see, she didn't set enough with her hands, and that prevented the dive from moving around. The judges' awards are 6, 5.5, 5, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5.
Total awards for that dive, 27.2.
Our next diver from Hinsdale Central is going to be Ann Conley. Ann's currently in 12th place, and she has nowhere to go but up, and she's doing a forward 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. It seemed to get a little way, as I was saying earlier, Carol, it's the balance on the end of the board. It seemed like Ann did not get her knee up strong enough in the hurdle, and she leaned forward a little bit there.
Yes, she did.
Cinnamon Woods has done a great job with her, bringing her up. She's a junior now, and she's been creeping up every year.
Yeah, 21.6 total award for that dive.
Christina Lucas, our next diver, she is currently in 4th place, and she's doing a fantastic job as a freshman. She's doing an inward 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. This is a high degree of difficulty. She really needs to hit this dive if she wants a chance to win this meet. That's an outstanding dive. That was a great takeoff by Christina right there on the bottom, and she just buried her chin on the bottom, which made it go a little past vertical, but just a solid big, as you can see on that overhead camera, that's great distance for an inward. 5.5, 6s from the judges is going to put her in contention with 314 right now, 95.
40.8 for her award.
That's a big award for her. Next is Anne-Marie Brutch. Currently, Anne-Marie is in 6th place. She'll be doing a forward 1.5 somersaults pike, and I think we have a change. I don't know.
The diver can do this before the dive goes.
I'm not on the deck, so I really can't tell what's happening with Anne-Marie. So we're just gonna have to wait a little bit here to see what the officials decide. She had this problem early in the preliminary rounds where she didn't understand the announcer and how the announcer read the dive. And actually, the announcer made a mistake and read the wrong number.
Okay.
So it's good to know that she has some good ears on.
Oh, it's good to see that she seems to be pretty loose.
Okay, everything is correct now. The announcer made the mistake again. It's Anne-Marie now with a forward 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. It's a required dive for the diver. There are 5 requireds done by each diver, and there's 6 optionals done. 1 from each category and 1 optional of their choice. That is an excellent job by Anne-Marie. And I tell you what, Carol, she has been so consistent on every dive thus far, and that's why she's in the top 6 right now. Nothing flashy, but just staying solid all day. As a sophomore, 17th, and as a junior, 18th. So here she goes. 201A back dive straight. Kate Johnson from Orland Park. Wow. That is a great dive. She extended the body beautifully off the board.
Great feet.
She would have got a point more per judge if she had grabbed her hands on the entry. As you see, that's a great position right there, but doesn't grab her hands as she goes in the water. That creates a big splash. She would have got 7.5 eighths from the judges if she would have grabbed those hands. She ended up getting 6s across the board, a 5.5 and a 7, a couple 7s.
32.3 total awards.
Allison Prather up from Kanya doing a back 1.5 somersault with a half twist. That's a solid dive for Allison here in the 9th round of diving. She fell back away from the board a little bit. That's going to put the board, the dive out there. She's getting 5.5s from the judges, which is about right. Here we go on the takeoff. Watch her shoulders. They fade back a little bit, pulling almost like a gymnast with before the reach. She really needs to reach off the board and extend those arms.
34.65 total award.
Amanda Witte up now from LaGrange Lions. She's doing a 4.5 pike. Amanda, that's a solid dive for her. She could have been a little more hollow on the finish. As you see in this replay, which is going to be hard overhead, it's great distance from the board. But as she goes in, she lets her legs fall over her tailbone, and that creates that splash on the end of the water. She gets 5.5s and 6s from the judges.
30.6 total award.
Our next diver here is Lauren Roth from Loyola Academy. She'll be doing an inward dive in the pike position. Lauren's been solid all meet long. And she's staying that way. It's just a phenomenal toe point from there, a very smooth takeoff. That's going to get scored well by the judges. As you can see in the replay, she throws over the board, and that is good, ladies and gentlemen, because the board will throw you away. She got 2 8s from the judges, 2 7.5s, 2 7s, and a 6.5.
33.0 total award.
Now our defending state champion, Sarah Hershman, on the board. She'll be doing a forward 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. That's a solid dive for Sarah. That's a good dive. Fell away a little bit on the takeoff, but a good solid start for her today. The judges like the 7.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 8, 7, and 8.
36.55.
That's going to keep her in the lead here after 9 rounds. Our next diver is Allison Barrett from Downers Grove North. She'll be doing the same forward 1.5 somersault in the pike position. That's a solid dive for Allison there. She did a great job in that hurdle. She's very strong off the board. She's a very athletic girl. The judges liked it too. 7.5, 6.5 from the judges. Here's the replay. Look at how high she gets off the board in this hurdle. And she actually jumps a little bit higher than Sarah. As you see, as she goes to the water, she just loses her legs there at the end, and that cost her that half point to a point per judge.
33.15 total award.
Okay, and our last diver here today is Julie Burt. Julie from the LaGrange Lions. She'll be doing a forward 2.5 somersaults tuck. And she really needs to hit this dive. Julie had a great first 5 rounds, and heads was solid in rounds 6, 7, and 8. But this is the big DD dive for her at 2.4. She needs to get vertical and kick out tight. I tell you, that's probably the best one she's ever done in her life. That was a great hurdle on the end of the board. Just lines up a little short of vertical, but I'd be very pleased with that dive. The judges awarded 5s, a couple 4.5s, and a 4. Here's the replay. Look at how strong she is off the board. Throws the hips up strong, kicks nice and tight, reaching a little in front of vertical. Well, here at Evanston High School, our 3rd or 11th and final round of diving. We have Pam Neustadter from Niles North. Forward 1.5 somersaults with 1 twist. She does an excellent job of getting vertical on that dive. There's some good DD on that dive. She's in the middle of the pack there, but she's getting 6, 6.5s on this dive, as you see on this. She gets a good takeoff and then goes for the finish. An excellent job, Pam. You've done a great job today.
41.8 total awards.
Tina Hint's final dive is going to be a reverse 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. little slow coming off the board. She didn't seem to get her legs up right away, and she felt stuck in the dive, which means it wasn't spinning as fast as she would like. As you can see, her arms just didn't get through. She comes back for the legs instead of bringing the legs to her, but she squeezes a nice tight tuck and then goes by on the finish.
28.75 on her award.
Ann Conley from Hinsdale Central up next. She's doing a forward 1 somersault with 2 twists. That's a great twisting action there by Ann. That's a great way to finish this meet for her. A good, solid finish. As you can see, she gets up off the board. Tight twist position, which is excellent, and squares on the bottom. Average of 4s and 5s from the judges. Our next diver is Christina Lucas, the freshman from Deerfield. This is her dive, forward front 2.5 somersaults in the tuck position. If you want to put some pressure on Sarah Hershman right now, this is the girl that's going to do it with this dive. Oh, that was an excellent dive, people. Let me tell you, she spins like a top. She had a great hurdle, and I think just being a freshman kind of got away, and she just missed the finish. But mechanically speaking, that is an excellent dive for that freshman out of Deerfield. Christina, you're going to have a great future. Keep it up. Our next diver is going to be Anne-Marie Bruch. Her final dive will be a forward 1 somersault with 2 twists. She's just been steady all day, just like quietly steady. As you can see her go to the bottom of the pool, that's a solid finishing dive for her. That's going to put her right up in the middle of the pack, I believe. As you can see, she's just a little slow on the twisting mechanics here. She doesn't get the arms up tight to the body. She's a little twisted there, but she does enough to make the twist and finishes strongly, getting 5s across the board pretty much from the judges.
33.35 total award.
Kate Johnson from Moreland Park, Carl Sandburg School. She's doing a forward 2.5 somersault. This is a big dive for her. You can see the point I was making earlier is the balance on the end of the board, and Kate did not maintain that balance. She kind of got ahead of herself. She rushed, as you see, she lands on the corner of the board, which makes it harder for her to ride the board up. And it just, maybe emotions got a little ahead of her there for the senior. We're waiting the judges' scores as Allison Prather there's on the board. And the judges are awarding Kate's dive right now. There's Allison on the board. She's from Conant High School. She's a senior, age 17. She's just having so much fun. I had a chance to talk to her before this meet, and she was just all smiles the whole time I talked to her. And that's a good, solid finishing dive for Allison right there. She pulled a little bit back with the shoulders. I wish she could have got her arms through a little bit narrower on the start, as you see on this replay. Her arms are a little wide as they come through and pulls by. Instead of wrapping around the body, to wrap into the body, and that kind of pulls it back and away. It's a good, great statement there for Allison. Our next diver is Amanda Witte. Amanda, a junior out of LaGrange Lions. She'll be doing a back 1.5 somersaults with a half twist. And that's a good, solid dive. She pulls her head a little bit on the start as she pulls off the board. I wish if she would have reached her arms a little bit higher off the board there. You see the head goes back before the arms. But she does a great job of getting a good finish for solid 5.5 range scores. Ending the meet here for the junior. Look out for her next year. She's got a bright future. Lauren Roth, a senior out of Loyola Academy. Speaking with Laura earlier, she's looking to go to a Big Ten school next year. Oh, and that's just a great takeoff. The crowd didn't seem to like that takeoff, but having coached that dive often, she did a great job of standing it up over the board. She ducked her head on the finish. As you see, she's going to duck her head here on the finish. It's not that close, people. You're watching that at home, and it's really not that close, just so you know that. She was safe on that dive.
But most of the judges.
The judges got scared, and the judges are going to judge her down right there. They judge her with a couple 3.5s and some 4s there. Our next diver is Sarah Hershman.
Oh, awesome.
There's your state champion right
Absolutely.
there. Sarah Hershman defends her title. That was a great dive for her. And as you see on this replay, she sets her hurdle up. Look at that. It's great balance on the hurdle, good head position, squeezes the tuck, sees her finish, and just stretches through the water for vertical finish and gets good scores, and actually, I believe, beats her last year's score by a couple points. And congratulations. But we still have 2 divers left here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not, there's still places to be won. There's still second places definitely up for grabs. Allison Barrett doing it back, 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. And if she nails this dive, she can move right up into second place. That's a great finishing dive for Allison. She could have went a little bit deeper on the finish, but that's a solid dive. Let's see what the judges, as we see on this takeoff. She picks her head a little bit up too fast there, which on the finish is going to create this little dolphin kick on the end. And that cost her a couple points per judge, but she averaged 5.5 for the judges. And that's going to put her right up there. And our last diver today is Julie Burt from LaGrange Lions. The senior is just happy to be here. She's got a back 1.5 somersaults in the pike position left. 2.4 degree difficulty. That's a good dive for Julie right there. She seemed to drop her legs as she came out of it. As we see this again on the replay. Pulls her head on the bottom, crimps the legs, and just lets go of the pike a little too soon. That leaves it a lot short. But for Julie, I think she had a great senior year. There's Sarah Hershman right now. And ladies and gentlemen, getting a hug from Allison Barrett. We'll be right back here at the Evanston High School and the site of the Illinois State Swimming and Diving Championships. Welcome back here to Evanston High School here and for the state swimming and diving championship. As you can see, Sarah Hershman winning the event from Barrington, 4:15.75. The freshman from Deerfield, Christina Lucas, in second. Pam Neustadter from Niles North in third. Amanda Witte, the junior from Lyons Township, in fourth. Lauren Roth, senior from Loyola, in fifth. And Allison Barrett, senior from Downers Grove North, 374.95. And she pulled it up. She was in 8th place, and she moved into the top 6 in the finals. As we see the wide shot, there are place finishers here from places 12th through 7th. And now we are going to head back and see the final 6 award winners get their medals here on the award stand. And our first one in 6th place is Allison Barrett from Downers Grove North. Finishing with a score of 374.95. That gold suit moved her up 2 spots here today into 6th place. Great way to finish your senior year as she smiles at her parents and at the crowd. And Lauren Roth giving her a hug there, our 5th place finisher. 377.35. 3 points, less than 3 points separating those two. She's from Loyola Academy. There's Lauren. And Amanda Witte there giving Allison a hug in 4th place. She scored 379.95. Just got Lauren Roth by 2 points there. She's a junior. In 3rd place, there she is, Pam Neustadter from Niles North High School. Scored 385.40. She was our leader for 4 out of the 11 rounds and ends up in 3rd place as a senior. That's a great way to finish, Pam. Good luck in college. And earlier when I said we had a young field, and we have a young field right here. We have a freshman in 2nd place, Christina Lucas from Deerfield. She scored 4.05, and all smiles there for Christina.
Congratulations, Christina. You did a good job. I'm going to help you up with this.
And now, please welcome to the championship platform, your first place finisher, Illinois State High School champion.
And there she is, she defended her title here as a sophomore. She won it last year as a freshman. Sarah Hershman out of Barrington. She scored a 4:15.75, just right 2 points off her last year's score. But again, that second straight diving title.
She seemed to handle the pressure very well today.
Yes, she did. And she's all smiles. We're going to take a look again at that award-winning dive by Sarah. As you can see right here, she gets her arms up, just solid balance on the end of the board, throws the arms, squeeze the tuck, and hits vertical right there. That dive right there put it over the top for her and gave her her second straight state crown in as many years.